If you just replaced the pinion seal on your rear differential and it's still leaking, there might be another cause to that. So let's take a look at what it might be. One thing I highly recommend are these wheel cribs. They're about 10 inches up off the ground. The car, when you're working on it, is incredibly steady. Doesn't matter what you do to it, it's not gonna fall down on you. Let's go under here and take a look. This is a 1972 Buick Skylark. I was getting a leaking directly off this seal. It would leave a nice sized puddle on my floor every time I take this out to drive. I have already gone through, taken off the drive shaft, took the yoke out, pulled this out, pried the old seal out, tapped a new one in, and sure enough, this has been dry ever since. No issues. But if you're still getting leaking like I am, what's actually happening, when I disturbed all of the old oil, grease, and dirt in here, when I put it back on, even though I put it to the same specification, I'm getting a slight leaking through the splines that's coming out behind the washer, leaking down and coming right off of here and creating a new puddle. We're going to take the drive shaft off. We hopefully don't need to completely drain the rear differential. Walk you through it step by step. So the first part is I'm going to take these 4 bolts out and we're going to get the drive shaft off and just sitting on a nearby support. After taking the drive shaft off, I can see in here, as I suspected, there's oil dripping from behind the washer. But before I do anything, I'm going to use one of these liquid chalk markers. We're going to mark it to make sure we get it to the same position as we currently have it. So after I marked everything, I'm going ahead and pulling this washer out, just using a flathead screwdriver, or actually like a little dental kind of hook tool to get in there and pull it out. As you can see, it is got quite a bit of gear oil on it from the rear differential. I went ahead and cleaned this up. Now what some people would do is they would take the whole yoke off and they would clean it all out. Now we're going to lose some fluid doing that. But what I have found is what you actually can do is to get to those splines, we can just put a little bit of gasket maker right back there on those splines so that it closes the gap between the end of the splines there and the washer, creating a seal. Other guys will go ahead and put the sealer on the entire splines as they push the yoke in. I find that that creates a much larger mess than you need to, and it's harder work for the next guy. This is what I'm going to be using. I use it quite a bit on my auto work. I've got a good amount of it worked around all different sides. I put it in there with a little tool like this. There should be enough material in there that when I press the washer in, it should create a nice tight seal. And with that, the washer is pressed in. You know you've used enough if you see the Permatex sort of ooze out the 2 sides of the washer. And now we're going to put the crush nut back in place, align it back up with our markings, and just add another tiny bit of a turn beyond that mark, and we should be all set. And with that, we've got the drive shaft attached to the rear differential again, and we'll take a look at this in a day or two and see if we have any leaks. All right, I have driven the car a few days, and let's take a look. And sure enough, we have no more leaks. I would say it is a success.